Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
It's the podcast. Oh, no, girl, yes. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Also, make sure you comment. You can also check this exact same audio out as a video on YouTube if you're used to listening to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And don't forget about Patreon. We have this lovely, wonderful community of listeners who support us, and they get special perks and treats, and also a lot of behind the scenes dish.
Correct.
But what we're talking about today is not behind the scenes. It's quite public. It's quite public. And we are talking about NEYO and I guess his soon to be ex-wife, Crystal. So you've been working. You had not seen the post yet.
Right.
I mentioned to you, hey, let's talk about NEYO. You said, what's going on with NEYO? And then now that you know what's going on, you've just read the message that Crystal wrote. And for our listeners, if you don't know, I'm going to read the message that his wife posted on Instagram right now. Okay.
Yeah.
This is from NEYO's wife, Crystal. She posted this on Instagram. 8 years of lies and deception. 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous of women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay unaccepted is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. I would no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. I choose me. I choose my happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. I ask that you all please stop sending me videos or information of him cheating because what he does is no longer my concern. I am not a victim. I'm choosing to stand tall with my head held high. If someone can't love you the way you deserve, I wish him nothing but the best. Crystal Renee. She posted on Instagram, and one of the things that was glaring is that NEYO clicked like on the message. So what are your first thoughts?
Of course he clicked like. She said exactly what he'd been doing for the past 8 years that they've been together.
But why do you say of course he clicked like?
Because she called him a narcissist in the passage. She referred to him as a narcissist. The fact that he would expect her to stay and just accept whatever it is, whatever he was doing. So for him to click like, oh God, that's just classic narcissist behavior.
Classic, because he knows that she wanted to hurt him by posting.
And he wanted to click like to let it, however, first of all, I saw your little message.
I saw your little message.
Ain't phasing me at any.
I liked it. I liked it.
In fact, I thought it was cute. Here you go. Like.
And that just let you know. So then he came out the next day and asked for privacy and all this kind of stuff. But then he also, after he asked for privacy, of course, the internet is like, no, you don't get privacy, sir. You already clicked like on the post. Don't try to act like you're not going to be in it now.
Right.
And then he posted something in his stories, I think it was yesterday, that said, if someone tells you how bad I did them, ask them what good I did or something. And everybody's like, I thought you ain't want us in your business. Don't be doing these little passive aggressive postings. Okay. But let me tell you what stuck out to me the most in her statement. Well, first of all, I know what stuck out to you because when I heard you reading it, you said unknowingly.
That did stick out because I think what we do best, you and I both, I believe, when we're in some mess or I say in some mess, but most of our relationships are a little messy as far as whatever, y'all know what we go through. When we're in it, it's easy for us to ignore things and act like things didn't happen, blah, blah, blah. Whatever pattern the dude is going down, we try to chalk it up to, oh, this is that and this is that. But when we're out, our hindsight becomes so clear. So I've never said anything anybody has done to me in hindsight was me unknowing. I always admit that I knew something. There was something wrong. So that unknowingly just stood out to me. It's like, no, you ain't go through this for 8 years. And I'm not victim shaming nobody about
right.
What happened.
It was just it was poor word choice.
But that was my first time reading it, and when I read it, unknowingly stood out like a sore thumb. Like,
right, because we always know.
Yes, we always know.
And this is not victim shaming, victim blaming. It's just women. We always know.
We always know. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to admit it. Come on, man.
And we might choose to hope or better.
And sometimes we suspect things that aren't there. I get that. But at the same time, there is always something that is just not right.
Always. And it's our intuition. And
Mhm.
also I would subscribe to the theory that not only was it her intuition, I think there were several in many instances that she forgave. There were several and many
Yeah.
instances that she
Well, that's
chose
my
to
that's
ignore. So
yeah.
she tried to make it work with this man, as a lot of women do. A lot of women's men cheat. And they
Yeah.
just say, you know what? We're gonna work through it. We're
Yeah.
gonna
And
stay
not
together.
and not to pound a dead horse or beat a dead horse, but you talked about people sending you videos. So like unknowingly it's just not
Right.
even.
It was just a poor word choice because
Now
also,
she could say initially when I signed up for this marriage, I was not signing up for this. I get that, and maybe that's what she
right.
meant.
Ain't nobody signing up for a bad
Right,
time. And
right.
again, when you love somebody and they're lying to you, it does not sound like a lie. It feeds into what you hope could be true. And we
Exactly.
all have been lied to.
Right.
And we, even if we thought it was a lie, we wanted it to be true. So we chose to believe it
Yes.
across the
That's it.
board.
That's
I
it.
know this is not true.
That's
I
it.
have seen I have seen proof that it is not true, but
Mhm.
because I want it to be true and because he said it, I am going to choose not only to believe it, because I don't think we ever believe it. I'm going to choose to move forward as if it were true,
Right.
because
Right.
I don't believe it.
Mhm.
But I want to believe it. I wish this were the truth. When a man says, I will never cheat on you again, there is nothing that you want to be more true than that.
Amen.
You
That's
want
it.
that to be true. And so you choose to believe what you could hope for.
Yeah.
But ultimately, do you ever trust that man the same? Probably not. Do you think he gonna do it again? Probably so. And when he does it again, yes, it's hurtful because you're like, but you promised me. And you're looking at yourself in the mirror and says, and when you gonna start promising yourself something, girlfriend?
Mhm.
So I hate this happened to her. But
I do.
also, after we get past the unknowingly,
Right.
and again, this is just we know you know that man was cheating on you. They probably renewed their vows recently because of some indiscretion that was embarrassing and hurtful to her, and he promised that he wouldn't do it again.
Mhm.
But it's interesting that to say, I felt like in her message when she said that she felt like it was wasted years. She says, I got nothing else but wasted years and heartache. Now, the reason why that stood out to me is
Mhm.
every relationship, once it's run its course, I don't like for people to then make the whole relationship a waste of time.
You are notorious for that.
I'm
Yes.
notorious for that. I'm like, look, it was good
Mhm.
and then it wasn't good, but you don't have to now tear the whole thing down. So I'm not into tearing down the whole house just because you don't want to live there no more. Okay, you don't want to live there no more. I get it. You've outgrown this house. It doesn't serve your needs. But don't now say, oh, and that house never kept me warm or that house wasn't sheltered. I mean, it was what it was when it was that.
Mhm.
So I feel like when she was enjoying the lifestyle, traveling, whatever, she had some good times. Now, it probably was forever some fooling wang attached to her good time.
Right. Right.
I'm not saying not that, but I just don't like when people think about any time is wasted.
Mhm.
Now, even though I want to be, I'm building a time machine where I can go back in time and kick my own ass for things I forgave or things I tried to understand.
Mhm.
I don't think
Unknowing.
any of the time was wasted. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It was like, well, I learned what I need to learn. And I'll never be getting nothing out of it. See, I feel like, okay, she got her 3 beautiful children.
Right.
Some of them times was good for her. So I just don't like for anybody to feel like because it ends that you wasted your time.
Right. Okay.
Now, anytime moving forward, knowing better,
Right.
that is a choice of wasting your
Right.
time.
Right. Because you already view the past as wasted
And
time.
guess what? He might be valid based on my opinion and my perspective in saying he wasted her time because of all the times that she already knew better.
Yeah.
So she very well might have known she had been wasting her time.
Right. 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 Right.
She may have known that based on my opinion.
Right.
um, but I feel like ultimately the reason why she posted this was to hold herself accountable to leaving.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm sure she had said she was leaving to him plenty of times. I'm
Mhm.
sure she decided she was leaving plenty of times. I think they did. She did file for divorce one time or something. They got back together. They renewed their vows and all that. I feel like this public display is for her to hold herself accountable
Mhm.
to
I
not go.
agree. I agree. I don't see, I know it seems, and I think we're not overanalyzing, but we, she put it out there. So we're talking about what she said from her perspective. But we have not forgotten about NEYO in this situation.
We can forget about it. We're going to get to NEYO in just a moment.
We have not. Don't get, don't get.
Yeah, we can only talk about a woman's perspective in what will make a woman write this. And I feel like this is for her to say, I cannot go back now because I have put this out there.
Right.
And it's a lot of women.
Think about it, a lot of times when you make goals about anything, weight loss or whatever, you keep it to yourself because you're like, if I don't do it, then nobody will know.
Right.
And that's across the board. So yeah, for her to say it out loud is her telling herself enough is enough, I think.
Yeah, I think it was, she won't let herself go back knowing
like I already put it out there. So it's out there in the atmosphere. Let's move on with me and my kids and let's just go have us another beautiful life.
But we've also seen people put things out there and then when they change their mind and stay, they're like, well, we need privacy, or, they'll put out another statement. I was upset and hurt and I was,
Right.
And we pray that she finds her peace. But let me say another thing about any relationship, good, but well, I can't say good, bad, or otherwise. Any relationship, only people that know what's going on in a relationship are those two people, right? But what's interesting, I find, is when people break up or people separate or people divorce, I want to figure out the best way to say this. I'm never surprised when people break up. Look at, we broke up. That's just, everybody has broken up. I'm never surprised when people break up, but I'm often surprised at how quickly people will tell you how bad something was and how they was lying about it being good the whole time. Because I feel so many people lie about things being good that when they break up and they say, I'm tired of lying about it and making this something it wasn't, whatever. I be like, well, I'm surprised you telling me that now. Just break up. But I know y'all be lying. As a single woman in America, I know y'all be lying about your good times. So when you break up, don't tell me you was lying to me the whole time. Don't do me like that. Okay. Because I want to believe somebody's having a good time with what they telling me they doing.
Right.
But when you break up and say, well, it wasn't never that, and all these years I've been trying to make it, and it's like, well, see, don't do me like that. Because when we go down the list, sometimes we try to think of happy couples. We be like, well, who do you think is a happy couple that you know? And by the time they break up and the truth come out, we don't think nobody has a perfect relationship, just like there's no perfect people.
Right.
And what one person can tolerate or accept, another person can't.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it's really about connecting with the person that you can tolerate and they can tolerate you. But it's so many people that's doing what it seems that she has alluded to that she has done, which is no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. And so maybe she's saying, I was never lying to myself. I was lying to y'all about what this was. So now I'm gonna stop lying to y'all because I already knew what this was. Oh, let's renew our vows. Oh, everybody's talking about how cute and pretty it is. But let's shift our focus to NEYO. Let's shift it.
Right.
So when did you break up? When did you fall out of anything with NEYO in life? I know mine, but when
I never was in anything with NEYO.
I was never in anything, but I remember when I fell out of anything.
I don't. What's your event or
his first baby mama?
Okay.
And I didn't.
See, okay, so
fan or follower.
Here's a disclaimer. Eunice does follow up on celebrity gossip a lot more than I do.
I like to know stuff.
She reads blogs and stuff like that. So she usually tells.
So you might not know. So you don't know nothing about Monyetta Shaw.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, so Monyetta Shaw is his first baby mama. I feel like they got 2 kids, a girl and a boy. It might be 3, but I think it's 2. And again, I don't follow NEYO in any, I've never purchased or downloaded any NEYO music. I just know this is what happened. He was with this woman for a long time. They had children. He said he didn't want to have no more children. So she got her, not tubes tied, she got them like burned where she can't have any more children. Okay. Because she's with NEYO. He don't want no more kids. And she got this, it's like a tubal ligation. It's something like that.
She had how many kids with him?
I feel like 2, it could be 3, but I think it's 2.
Okay.
I know it's at least 2. It might be 3. Okay. Because this was some years ago. And when they broke up and he got with, it might be the new wife when he got with.
I saw some comments talking about how you get them is how you keep them.
Right. I feel like he got with the wife, the now wife, but they had children together. And so Monyetta came out and shared this story about how hurtful That was that this man took away her opportunity. I don't want to say he took it away. He told her, convinced her they was going to be together forever. Let's not have no more kids. And she did something physically to herself to prevent herself from having children. And he went on to have more children with someone else. And that was just a very, in reading that and learning that, I thought that has got to be such a difference of betrayal and pain and regret. And that's devastating. I would just imagine that to be the most, and that's different than we got married and got divorced, or he had a side baby. That's different than we have discussed, and I've been convinced, or I've agreed to do this thing for us, and then we break up and you have more children. 3 more at least, according to this stuff. And I just, from that moment, I just thought, man, that's just hateful.
Kind of looked at him different.
Yeah, I just never looked at him the same. Again, I never looked at him in the first place. But it was just like, man, that's really harsh to do to a person. And I'm not saying he should stay with somebody forever if he don't want to be with them. All those things, because again, women do things, and men, women do things in the context of a relationship that when you look back and you think, why did I do that? Or why did I let him convince me that? I saw where it's another gossip blog or whatever, another celebrity, I think it's Mina Servino or somebody, who talks about regretting being pressured into threesomes by her ex that she never wanted to do. And, you look back and say, how did I do that? What was happening in the world that I did this thing that I did not want to do?
Blinded by love, baby. Blinded by love.
I'm trying to think. The only thing I could think of that I've done.
Did you regret?
That I can regret when it was completely based on what the man said. I would say dating them in the first place. I mean, seriously, it's like you knew
being convinced that this was a good idea.
Thinking that they was an option. I think it's like, now he told me he was an option and he's intentional, but we have a lot of different moments where you're like, you know what? I don't have anything obviously as tragic as no children. I mean, but think about how many single moms there are that this man said, let's have a family, let's make a baby.
And then
he left. And he gone. And not even just in the relationship, you ain't even a parent. Like, okay, fine, we can break up, but you still can be a parent. What that feels like, I was brought up by a single mom and she had 4 kids. And, to even think about my mom as a woman in a relationship that you go half on 4 kids and now you doing it by yourself. It's like,
well,
this is really not what we discussed. This ain't what we talked about.
Yeah.
I think NEYO is somebody. Well, I think if you're paying sex workers to have, and you're having unprotected sex with sex workers,
you got a problem, right?
Like there's something else going on. Yeah.
It's not just like, no.
It's and what's interesting for her to specifically say women who sell their bodies to him unprotected is that seems to be his kink. Potentially. And we've talked before about how men who drug women to have sex with them or rape women, that the kink is that. It's not the sex. It's the something around how the sex is happening.
Correct.
And so and some people who use prostitutes, they like that. That's what they getting off on.
Because a lot of people, talk about celebrities who are called, paying sex workers or seducing masseuses or whatever. Like, well, you can get any woman you want. Well, that's the point. They can get anyone, so that doesn't really turn them on anymore. Like that's easy work, light work. Let me step up my kinky game a little bit because I can and I can afford it, and let's do this. So men say that all the time about
all the time. We got Deshaun Watson right now with all these masseuses. Masseuses.
I don't know. I think I said masseuses, but I don't know if that's a word or not. I just made
these massage therapists. Okay. And it's this thing where he has a beautiful girlfriend and he's a professional athlete. He's an attractive guy. He's a millionaire. And yet and still you got 60 something women saying, yeah, he made me do something I didn't want to do.
That makes sense to our, but it makes perfect sense to them. I mean,
it makes, and that's what I'm saying. It's this thing where people who defend perverted people, right? Whether they're rapists or, like I'll bring up Darren Sharper, handsome football player, and I had the biggest crush on him. And when I tell you he's in jail right now for drugging women in multiple states and raping them. It's like,
yeah,
what are we even talking about? And so it's one of those things where if you don't understand it, it ain't for you to understand, but also don't try to step up to defend it. Just sit this one out. Okay. It will be interesting to see how this plays out from this public posting from Crystal, and how NEYO recovers, because even though NEYO is whatever he does have a lot of mainstream support and branding, and
honestly, can I just go ahead and say it out loud? I don't think it's going to affect how he. I don't think it's going to affect how he moves in the industry.
Really, but so just, when I say
he's not in the long run, not in the long run, maybe in the short term. But I like R. Kelly can come out here right now and make a banger, and people are gonna support.
Oh, everybody's gonna go buy it because of the curiosity, the morbid.
A lot. I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but men get away with it a lot easier than women when it comes to a reputation that's being tarnished and stuff like that. They bounce back much easier, and maybe we can be to blame because we are their consumers. I don't know. I say we, like, just talking about women as a whole, not us specifically.
No, for sure. Well, and that's the thing, that when somebody, think about it like this. Okay, his wife puts this statement out. The next thing NEYO says or does, we all watching to see what he about to say or do. You know what I'm saying? So that's an audience right there, just out of the curiosity of what he about to say. What his next album gonna say, and then we back at square one. So yeah, I agree. He probably won't experience too much professional fallout from this. But what'll be interesting, though, is how many bandwagoners come on to air his dirty laundry.
Yeah, now that will be interesting.
Because once the wife opened the floodgates, everybody else might feel like, hey, it's open season. Let me tell you about my night with NEYO.
Yeah.
So
correct.
That might be a whole thing. Because now that's somebody that can sell their story, right? Where somebody before be like, no, I ain't gonna print no story about no NEYO. He got a wife and kids. Well, now it's like, hey, let's go.
Put it out there. So let's talk.
Put it out there. Let's talk about it. I'm sure some of those sex workers will be on somebody's podcast this week. Not ours, guys. Not ours. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're welcome. But let us know what you think. Why do you think she would make this public message? And do you think she's really gonna leave? It ain't none of our business. We always like to say that when we talk about other people's business. We do know none of this is our business. We just discussing what's happening in the world on our platform. Okay. Also, because we ain't got no business.
Let's talk about somebody else's business for a change.
We're gonna talk about somebody else's business until we can come back and tell y'all, ooh, so I met a guy. Well, let us know what you think. You can always leave comments on our YouTube page, and that way we can also chat back with you. So until next time, we'll see how many more blasts NEYO gets this week. And get your NEYO game up, girlfriend.
I know, girl, because I don't know nothing. I was like, who is that?
Who that is? And until next time, of course. Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.